Today is Saturday night. If you are gonna go party, cancel your plans. The party is right here. This is good. Apple, it has resumed all of its full ad spend on Twitter, and advertisers are coming back on Twitter. Supposedly, this was supposed to never happen. No. Does this completely end that Twitter overhang? We'll find out. But is Twitter going to be more profitable or less of a venture that loses money? Yeah, probably. Which means Elon is less likely to sell Tesla stock. Gary's saying that Elon was saying all the right things that advertisers want to hear. Perhaps Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, offered some good insights that are now helping Twitter. If there is one thing we know about Elon, is he makes mistakes. Lots of them. But he learns so quickly, and he admits that he made mistakes so quickly, he calls himself dumb. When he looks back at, how they used to make Teslas, like, for example, they first used a Lotus Elise platform to make Tesla Roadster, the first one, and eventually it turned out that the car that they made was so different that they would have been much more better off just making the whole thing from scratch instead of using Lotus Elise as a starting point. I mean, he said it's a really dumb thing that they did. And this is one thing that you see over and over with Elon. So when I see something that Elon does, something that raises my eyebrows, I know maybe he knows something that I don't. And even if he doesn't, then I know he will pivot very quickly, making me feel really good about his prospects when he does anything that he takes seriously. Now, of course, there's also this other side. Steven has a good point here. Elon meeting with advertiser groups to explain that the lies in the media are lies. If I could invest in every company that Elon is involved in, I would, including Neuralink. Wouldn't governments be able to hack somehow? And if they hack your Neuralink, can they really mess with your brain? So if you have a hostile government, that sounds like, something to really think about before you get your Neuralink. Although I'm not sure. I need to look more into this. Elon is saying that he wants to test brain chips in humans in 6 months. So that's pretty fast from now. Although, I have to say, I wouldn't be too surprised if we find out that Elon already has one. Probably not, but I mean, my biological neural nets concluded that it was important to buy Twitter. I mean, who speaks like that? The world's richest man speaks like that. The world's best engineer speaks like that. If you watched my channel for a while, you know that there is a China risk for Tesla that I am not a fan of that risk exactly, but even if an asteroid was dropped on Giga Shanghai, I think Tesla would still be fine. It would just hurt a lot short term. But we are seeing Apple trying to sort of start really moving out of China, which is interesting. Apple has so much in China, and it was sort of really resistant about this idea of moving away from China, for a while. But it looks like it might be changing. And, a lot of things are happening over there right now. Their factory, Apple's factory in China, Wall Street Journal here saying there have been some violent protests at Apple's factory. And here you can see you have to wait for your iPhone for so long. This is after 10 weeks of sales. You still have to wait for a whole month to get your phone. This is a little, ridiculous. But it used to be after the first 10 weeks, but you could get it pretty much immediately. Apple wants to ship 40 to 25% of iPhones from India compared to a single-digit percentage currently. That's nice. So what we are seeing right now could be the beginning of Twitter overhang lifting. Elon has a goal to reach 1 billion users, active users. And I think he can do it. I think there's a good chance that Twitter eventually will become a $1 trillion company. Eventually. And also, generally, the future for Tesla and EVs is looking really good. Redwood Materials, which was started by J.B. Straubel, who worked with Elon so closely for such a long time, I think perhaps if Tesla eventually buys Redwood Materials, J.B. Straubel could be a good Tesla CEO if Elon does not want the role, or if he has to step down for some weird reason. Elon is saying that Twitter could maybe exceed 1 billion users in 12 to 18 months. I don't know about that timeline. That sounds more like one of those full self-driving robotaxis coming next year. 2020 was a while ago. But you also know that because no one believes Elon when it comes to full self-driving timelines, that full self-driving is basically not baked into Tesla stock, into the price of Tesla stock. And eventually, I believe he will figure it out. And everyone will be like, oh, we thought this was never going to happen. Elon overpromised for such a long time that we really did not see this coming anymore. And here it happened. Mainstream media has no chance to even compete with Twitter anymore. Look, there is this big story going on about this chatbot that is really good. Let me show you. I asked it why Elon Musk has so many kids, and it answered. Because he wants to colonize Mars. Why is Elon Musk so rich? Because he's a rocket scientist. Tell me a joke about Elon Musk and his girlfriend. Why does Elon Musk's girlfriend love him so much? Because he's a real rocket man. Oh, stop talking dirty. Then I asked it to tell me its best joke. And it said, why was the math book so sad? Because it had too many problems. It's not bad. And these are things, by the way, that supposedly have never been said. So I asked it, tell me a long joke. And it started with the same joke. And then it elaborated. The math book was feeling very depressed and unhappy. So it went to see a therapist. The therapist asked the math book what was wrong. And the math book replied, I have so many problems and no solutions. I'm just full of equations and no answers. I don't know what to do. The therapist thought for a moment and then said, I think I have a solution for you. Why don't you try working on some word problems? They might be easier for you to solve and it could help you feel better. The math book thought this was a great idea and it started working on some word problems. It found that they were much easier to solve and it felt much happier and more fulfilled. This is pretty good stuff. I mean, supposedly it's all original. Then I asked it to tell me a new joke, and then it said, why was the math book so smart? Because it had lots of equations. So it seems to be using the same thing over and over again, but it's not bad. I mean, you can actually use this to generate things on the fly. Tell me 10 jokes about Tesla. Why did Tesla go better? Because it ran out of charge. We know we don't need to worry about that, but that was quite funny. Why does Tesla have so many fans? Because it's electric. Why does Tesla have so many enemies? Because it's always shocking the competition. That's a good one. Why does Tesla have so many losses? Because it's always sparking controversy. Some of these are pretty good. Advertisers returning to Twitter. That is good news. And these are 48 reasons why I only own Tesla stock in my stock portfolio. My name is Matt Post. Just like and subscribe if you haven't yet. And I will see you in the next video right here. Thank you so much.